The stars burned cold and silent above the jagged cliffs of Cerberus Pass, a narrow canyon on the dead moon of Tau Ceti III. 10 soldiers stood at its mouth, their boots sinking into ash-grey dust, their eyes fixed on the horizon where the sky flickered with the approach of 10,000 warships. The Void Reapers, a merciless armada that had devoured 100 worlds, now descended toward Earth. But humanity would not die quietly, not while 10 souls, forged in fire and memory, still drew breath. These soldiers had no names, only numbers stenciled on their armor. They were the final decoy, a distraction force sent to bait the Reapers into a trap. The plan was simple: lure the armada into the canyon, trigger seismic charges buried in the moon's crust, and collapse the pass on their fleet. But the Reapers were not fools. Their scouts would detect the explosives unless the decoy held their attention. 10 humans. 10 minutes. That's all Earth's evacuation needed. What the Reapers didn't know, what even the soldiers themselves didn't know, was the truth buried in their bones. They were not born. They were printed. Clones, grown in vats, their minds imprinted with the memories of heroes long dead. A general who had stopped a civil war with a single speech. A pilot who'd flown into a black hole to save her crew. A medic who'd drowned in radiation to shield a child. Their bodies were new, but their souls were echoes of legends. The first wave hit at dawn. Skittering drones, no larger than wolves, surged through the pass in a metallic tide. The soldiers fired in unison, plasma rifles carving arcs of light through the shadows. One clone, a hulking figure with a scarred face he'd never earned, laughed as he crushed a drone in his gauntleted fist. "Remember Proxima Centauri?" he barked, though he'd never been there. "They died messier than this." The others roared, their borrowed courage igniting like a chain reaction. For 3 hours, they held. The canyon floor became a graveyard of sparking wreckage. But the Reapers adapted. Next came the husks. Biomechanical horrors, twice the height of a human, their limbs ending in serrated blades. A clone with a sniper's focus fell first, her skull split by a claw. Another detonated his grenade belt, taking 3 husks into the fire. The survivors fought harder, their implanted memories blurring with the present. One, a woman with a cybernetic eye, swore she smelled the ozone of a battlefield from a war fought centuries ago. By the 6th hour, only 5 remained. The Reapers, impatient, sent a Titan, a mile-long dreadnought that blotted out the sun. Its shadow alone cracked the canyon walls. The clones' comms crackled with a message from Earth Command: evacuation at 78%. Hold. Hold. The soldiers looked at one another. No speeches, no tears. They activated their armor's last protocol. Overdrive. A chemical cocktail that would burn their bodies to ash in exchange for 20 minutes of unstoppable fury. What happened next became myth. A clone with a knack for sabotage scaled the Titan's hull, planting charges on its thrusters. Another, whose hands had never held a sword, but whose mind remembered 1,000 duels, severed the neural core of a husk commander, causing its squad to short-circuit. The dreadnought listed, its engines failing, and crashed into the armada's flank. The explosion lit the sky like a supernova. When the seismic charges finally detonated, collapsing the canyon, the last clone was laughing. Not in triumph, but in recognition. In their final moments, the memories crystallized. They understood. They were not the originals, just shadows. But shadows, they realized, could still eclipse empires. The Reapers' defeat at Cerberus Pass did not end the war, but it fractured their invincibility. Across the galaxy, enslaved species intercepted the clone's final transmission, a looped feed of 10 humans defying annihilation. On mining colonies and prison ships, rebels played the footage, whispering, "If their ghosts can do this, what could we do alive?" Within a year, the Armada's own subjects turned their weapons on them, chanting a slogan born in the ashes of Tau Ceti III. "We are all echoes, and echoes endure." Earth survived, not because of its armies or its technology, but because 10 borrowed lives reminded the galaxy that tyranny is a brittle thing. All it takes to shatter it is someone willing to stand in the choke point, someone who knows that even a copy of courage can change the stars.